fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Ultra Dual Sword from Ultraman Decker. So you can see the sword very prominent here on the packaging. We do have Decker and Trigger because it is used by both of them. We also get two gimmick items. We actually get a Ultra Dimension card for Ultraman Trigger Multi-Type, as well as a Guts Hyper Key in the Ultra Dual Key. So we'll get into this thing a little bit more later, but there's not really much to it. But in any case, nice packaging here. You can see that the sword can read the cards, which is actually pretty cool. And then it has a Guts Hyper Key reader down here in the bottom. So a lot going on with this one. You can see again, just kind of shows everything that's included. We've got Decker and Trigger both wielding it here up top. Down here, not really too much going on, just your standard warnings. You do need 3 AAA batteries for the sword itself, and then the Guts Hyper Key does come with the little watch batteries included, so that's appreciated. Just showing off the 2 modes of the sword there. Just showing how you can read keys and cards with the sword. And then if we spin around to the back, pretty much just more of the same. It's showing you how to insert the key in the bottom, read the cards. It's got the 2 modes, the Trigger mode and the Decker mode. Of course, the card that comes with this can also be used in the D-Flasher. We'll take a look at all that. So a lot of interconnected playability with this one. So I think that's a lot of fun. So pretty much it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get everything out of there and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here's everything you get in the packaging. Of course, we have the card, the key, and the sword itself. We'll take a look at these real quick just so we can go ahead and put them off to the side. So first up, we have the Ultra Dimension card for Ultraman Trigger Multi-Type. Got the nice holofoil there on the front. Spinning it around to the back. Now you'll probably see that mine is a little worn. Unfortunately, the sword did do that. And I will talk about that a little bit later on. Half of it's the sword's fault, half of it's my fault. I'll get into that a little bit later on. But we got the barcode there at the top. We got the barcode on the side. And I really do love the nice holofoil there. So it's a great looking card. Then we have the Ultra Dual Key.
Dual Standby.
So it just says Dual Standby. You can see that we have Decker and Trigger there. This is made using the same kind of basic body as Trigger Truth. You can see it's got the kind of yin-yang symbol there going on the top. That is where the speaker is. It's really a nice metallic purple. I'll give it that. I really do like that. I don't know if that's... I guess it's it's somewhat translucent. You can kind of see the electronics there on the inside. So it's kind of a sparkly, metallic, translucent purple. So I think that's really cool. I do really like that. The picture inside's kind of nice. You have the rail system here. It says it's B005. This is where you pull the little tab out for the batteries. That's really the only sound that it makes, though.
Dual Standby.
So it doesn't really do too much else other than that. It will make a few more sounds when we actually plug it into the sword, but it just says Dual Standby, so that's really all we got going on sound-wise with this on its own. But I do really like the aesthetic. I think that translucent, metallic, glittery purple is a really nice touch. So I do really like the look of this. It's just a little lackluster in terms of sounds it makes. But like I said, there's a few more sounds to get to. But we'll put that off to the side. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the sword itself. Not bad. I mean, you know, it's a Japanese roleplay sword, so it's pretty dinky. I mean, this is kind of the size of my fist. Pretty much that's the whole hilt. And then I would say, you know, I wish the blade was maybe a little bit longer, but not a huge problem. It does have an on and off switch right here. Here's your speaker. This is, you push this little piece down, this whole piece will slide back so you can load in your 3 AAA batteries, and then you slide it back on. This is the release for the key. Once you plug the key into the bottom, you hit that to release it. So let's go ahead and turn it on. Doesn't say its own name. I think that's kind of a bummer. I always like it when they do. Let's hit the button. So it just kind of alternates between those two sounds. This is trigger mode. If we go ahead and open this up.
Decker mode.
So it says Decker mode. Pretty sure it's the same two, just generic slashing sounds. I do really like this like holofoil thing they got going in here. I think it's just stickers underneath the plastic, but the light really catches it well, and it's really fun. I like that. These are stickers. This is just one big sticker here to kind of get that space effect. And then this was translucent blue plastic and some really nice gold.
Trigger mode.
So when we close it back up, it says trigger mode. And then you can kind of see right here, this little piece of translucent plastic will kind of peg into the notch right there. So you kind of push those together, and then that way it'll kind of really keep it nice and tight together, which is pretty cool. But again, really nice gold paint all here on top of the red. I think that looks really sharp. So just once again, we'll do the two different modes.
Decker mode. Trigger mode.
So it does announce the two different modes as it switches back and forth. The attack sounds are pretty much the same. Holding the button down does nothing new. So on its own, the sword does not do a ton. You basically just have the two modes name shout-outs. You have the two attack sounds with the trigger. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead. Let's start adding some stuff to this. We'll bring that key back in. So I'll pop this in.
Duel. Stand by. Ready. Duel. Ultra play.
So it says ready, then you hit the trigger. It says dual ultra bake. This says dual another time. If we open this up,
Decker mode. Duel. Ultra play.
so the sounds for that are not really any different whether you're in trigger mode or Decker mode.
Trigger mode. Duel. Ultra play.
So not really much going on there, but you do have to have this plugged in so that you can get the cards to work. I've tried multiple times, different configurations, trying to use the cards without this plugged in, and it does nothing. So just to illustrate my point, you always want to have it facing this way. So it's doing nothing, but if we plug this back in,
Ready. Duel. Ultra play. Trigger multi. Duel. Superion play.
so you heard there when I swiped the card, it said trigger multi.
Decker mode. Trigger multi. Duel. Superion play.
So I'm pretty sure those two sound effects are the same. I don't think it matters which version you're in. That didn't read it that time.
Trigger multi. Duel. Superion play. Decker mode. Trigger multi. Duel. Superion play.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, the sound effects are the same whether you're in trigger mode or Decker mode.
Trigger mode.
And I'm just noticing now that this is starting to curve. I don't think I mentioned this before, but the very last segment of the sword is a much softer plastic. So obviously this part is a harder plastic, and then this just kind of this whole piece here you can see kind of clips in. So that is definitely a softer rubbery plastic. But basically what happened to my cards, so when I was first trying to figure out how to, where I had to align this to get it to read, I was putting it a little bit further back. And if you kind of push the sword all the way down, there's like a spot where it gets really tight and it wouldn't go through. And I was trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, because I'm like, it can't possibly need to be this tight to read the card every time. And I guess I was just pushing it too far down, and that piece that was really tight, I was kind of finally getting it through, and that's what caused this to kind of buckle. Unfortunately, these are not made of plastic, as I wish they were. They're kind of a glossy cardboard, so they will start to buckle, like if they would get wet or anything. So unfortunately, this edge did get a little messed up, and then I figured out that you don't even have to push the card all the way down. You kind of want to keep it really superficial and just kind of lightly glide it through. Although now it's not going to do it. Come on. Is this not on?
Superion, please.
Wake up. There we go.
Superion, please.
So you just want to be a little bit careful when you're using it. You don't want to push it all the way down and hit whatever that thing is, but you kind of have to catch it a little bit. It's kind of weird. You start to get the hang of it the more you do it. Because sometimes, you can see I went through it, didn't read it at all. And then that time it caught it. So you may have noticed there that I swiped the card twice and it played the sounds twice. That is correct. You can swipe multiple cards and actually do some interesting combinations. So let's check it out. Alright, so I've been playing with the cards that I do have so far, and I've been able to find a couple combos. I'm sure there are more, and I'm sure we'll find more as we go. But I wanted to just show off a few that I've found so far. So we'll start with Decker, Flash type. Decker Strong. Oh, didn't read it. There we go. So that's pretty cool. Now, obviously, you can do whatever cards you want, and you just keep scanning them. It'll say their names. I think up to 3. I haven't really tried to do 4, but I kind of think 3 is the max. But when you get one that it recognizes as an actual combo, you can hear it say Ultra Combo. So another one that I found, we'll try Rosso. And Blue. So pretty cool. Another one that I found, we have Jeed. What is with this thing? I don't know why it really doesn't. There we go. So that was 0 and G'd, but we can also do...
Ultra combo! Tempest Scrub!
So I think that's pretty cool. It's almost like the Zet Riser in a way that you can kind of make different combos and do up to 3 cards, and I think that's really cool. So, like I said, I'm sure there's other ones that I could probably do with cards that have been recently released, or maybe ones I don't quite have yet, or maybe there's even ones with the cards I do have so far that I missed, but I just wanted to show off a few that I was able to find. I don't think there's too many more with the cards that I have. Nothing else really jumped out. But that was really cool. So I'm really looking forward to getting more cards down the line and seeing what other combos we can come up with this thing. I think that's really neat. That's an aspect of this toy that I was not expecting, and I'm very pleasantly surprised with. Next up, we'll try our new trigger card in the D Flasher.
Ultra Dimension! Ultraman Trigger! Most type!
Now, I know it's trying to say multi-type, but it sounds like it's just saying mulch type. And of course, we got to try our new key in the DX Gut Spark Lens.
Dual Sword!
So it kind of alternates between those two sounds.
Dual Sword! Dual Sword!
So it pretty much just says dual sword. So the last thing I wanted to show off real quick, what happens if you put a different Guts Hyper key in here other than the Ultra Dual key. So I just have Trigger Dark helping us out here as the first one I was able to grab.
Ultra Blade!
So the sword's just always going to say Ultra Break. Basically, whatever key you pop in here, the key will say its piece. The sword will say Ultra Break. And that's pretty much it. So there's not really any kind of reader down here. This is just the key doing its part, the sword throwing Ultra Break onto the end. So whatever that says, then it does its part. Not super exciting. But, I mean, it's neat. You can put whatever keys you want in there and you will have some functionality. I actually think this is a pretty cool set. The fact that the sword has a card reader in it is definitely the best thing it has going for it. But in terms of just the sword on its own, I think it's a decent length. Obviously, I wish it was a little bit longer. I find myself saying that quite a bit with all Japanese roleplay items. Swords, I feel like, are almost always notoriously just too short. They should make them a little bit longer. But for the most part, looks pretty cool. Has the trigger mode and the decker mode, and I think that they both look pretty good. I like that it announces which mode you're in as you switch back and forth. I do kind of wish that the sword would say its name when you first turn it on. Not a big complaint, just something I like them to do, and they don't always do that. But here in the trigger mode, you have a lot of nice gold paint here on the red plastic, some nice translucent blue plastic here in the center, and then when you pop it open to the decker mode, you know, this is all achieved with stickers, but I feel like it really works. I mean, they have this kind of space thing going on here, and that would be almost impossible to replicate with paint. So I feel like they use stickers there, and it really does work out. And then they have some holofoil stickers inside here underneath this plastic. And when you move the light across it, it really does look nice. So you get all the paint on the outside, you get stickers underneath, but they both really work. This thing can also read both kinds of roleplay gimmick items, which I think is really cool. So you get an Ultra Dimension card and a Guts Hyper Key. The card reader, of course, is in the center. You can read keys here on the bottom. That's really impressive. I think that's really cool. This is not so exciting on its own, the Ultra Dual Key. It really just makes one or two phrases. You know, even when you go and use it in the DX Guts Spark lens from last year, it's just saying Ultra Dual Sword. It's not even really saying much there. But it's fine. Aesthetically, I think it looks fantastic. I love the translucent, metallic, glittery purple plastic with the gold. I think that really works. You know, the picture of Trigger and Decker here in the center. They did just kind of reuse the mold from the Trigger Truth key, but that's fine. I get it. This doesn't have a ton of functionality. It's really kind of a means to an end because you have to have it loaded in there to get the card reader to activate. So I just think it's neat that they're kind of merging the 2 years gimmick items into one item, which is really neat. Now, getting back to the card reader finally, I was expecting it to kind of just be like swipe a card through, it depresses a button, and you get an attack sound. I did not expect it to be a full reader, and that's really, really cool. And the fact that you can, you know, use different combos of cards to get new sounds, that's even more impressive. So that's definitely a whole level of functionality that I did not expect this toy to have, and I really, really like that, and that's definitely what's going to be the most fun for me going forward. If you collect the cards, if you've been collecting them all along, I definitely say this is something to pick up. If you're not really collecting the cards this year, then I would say pass on this, because when you take the card part of it away from this toy, it's not nearly as fun. I mean, you get two different like slashing sword sounds. You get the trigger mode, the Decker mode. You know, popping that key or any key into the bottom gives you just kind of the, you know, ultra sword sound, and it's not really that exciting. But once you get the cards involved, that's where this thing really shines. So if you've been collecting the cards so far and you plan on collecting as many cards as you can throughout the rest of the year, then I definitely recommend picking this one up, because that's really where all the fun comes in. That's where this toy really shines. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.